Angelina Jolie, lovely to meet you. Can you tell me who or what Maleficent is? Who is she?
She is I think she was described in the original book as an ugly fairy. She's an
That's not really
fairy.
you, though.
Well, thank you.
So you had to ugly yourself up.
She's a little. She's not pretty. She's something. Yeah, she's somebody who in our story she was born to she's quite on fire and aggressive about defending her land, but all for good reasons. She was kind of had a lot of good in her, and then she faces abuse, and she turns and she becomes Maleficent as we know her.
Yeah, she's scary, but she's also quite alluring as well. So I don't know how much of that like you wanted to come across. I know that you had quite a hand in the costume. You sort of wanted that you were quite passionate about the way she looked. So were the horns and things your idea?
Well, the horns were, from the original. So much of her was just from the original, and I think we just wanted to make sure. My big note to wardrobe and costume was to not basically turn her into somebody else and to give her new costumes. And we found these great men. Actually, we went online and found great leather workers and people that did these kind of more elegant fetish clothes and brought them in so they could kind of play with her.
That was the first and last time you ever went to those kind of websites as well, I'm sure. Well, for 10 years maybe. Now the accent, you've done English accent before, but this one is very, very, Downton Abbey and quite wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Now, how much of that did you do when you were sort of like ordering pizza or I'll have a meatball marinara at Subway?
Jeez. I studied great English theater actresses, and I just listened to the way they just enjoy words so much. The American voice is so flat, and we don't really enjoy language, and so it was nice to have an accent for her where she just indulges in everything she says and the way she says it is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you kind of try and get into English traditions? I'm talking like Earl Grey tea or Radio 4's Today programme or Midsummer Murders. Have you seen that show, or Jonathan Creek?
No, should I?
I think you should. I think you'd like British TV, yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I like
and
BBC.
Idiosyncratic and stuff. Yeah. When you're making a big epic like this, and there's lots of special effects, I was asking Elle, is it kind of, do you cringe a tiny bit when you're trying to act all epic when you're surrounded by just a green screen in the background? Because it just feels very mechanical.
I think for me, one of the funniest things actually was that I couldn't see my magic. So I would have this, you kind of do this, but you don't know what you're doing because you don't know what's coming out of your hands. And they could put like little rabbits if they wanted to, so you don't know. Yeah. You kind of have this, and so that was weird because you have no idea what's.
And it's silent as well, isn't it? Because all that is.
It's silent and it's empty, and you're whirling around a bunch of green something that nothing really. You're playing with nothing. So.
And of course, your daughter Vivian's in it as well. Spectacular. Do you think she'll get a bit diva in her next movie? Do you think she'll want a trailer and and she'll have special catering demands?
She was heading in that direction.
Did all your family come down and support you? Was it quite nice to sort of
see
they
were
and
there.
Daughter?
Well, they're there on set basically every day anyway. So they homeschool. So they're there when I'm working, and they had fun. But they find her very funny. Her siblings have seen it, and they think she's the funniest thing in the film.